which began in a few courageous female upcoming striker on abuse at the hands of Oscar-winning manufacturer Harvey Weinstein, has founded in emotion versus misuse how has reverberated through industries. In fair part a year, many decades of one-day strong men include been detained reports for abuse, thousands of human beings include grown their sounding to tell, me too much, and at low one production, human beings expect, in any case, will never be the identical. Once again, he's happened in 6 months. As it stands, the concoction versus Weinstein band of oppression to rape her, involve the stories of more than rather than 80 female, an interval several many decades. Via a representative, Weinstein has often rejected all concoction of non-consensual sex. Under is a time scale of how the Weinstein Fracas deployed. October 5, female include, been speaking on Harvey among ourselves for a length period, and he's just for period to include the talk openly, Judd said the Times. In answer, Weinstein issues a declaration and announces his keep of lack of the Weinstein business. October 8, Weinstein is fired by the Weinstein business, that he company founded in his sibling Bob in 2005. The executive board cites brand new data on offense by Harvey Weinstein how has founded in the history few days as the cause for his completion. October 10, the history, 10 months in the manufacturing, as well turned on new concoction of oppression and some incorrect behavior, on in assertions how human beings at Weinstein's movie business knew on his offense. After how date, the New York Times published a subsequent history in quotes of Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie and some Hollywood actresses in concoction versus Weinstein. Weinstein issues his at first of which would be several denials of non-consensual sex. October 14, in a declaration, the academia told the activity was designed no just to individual ourselves of who does not credit the honor of his associate but as well to email a communication how the era of deliberate darkness and disgraceful participation in sexually carnivorous behavior and job oppression in our production is above. In the upcoming weeks, the Directors Guild of America, the Producers Guild of America and the UK Academia of Movie and TV Arts would all get stares to range themselves of Weinstein. October 15, October 19, law coercion in London and New York are as well studying estimated sex crimes by Weinstein. October 25, I now know of these accounts how my behavior was inadequate and inflicted other ache. For how, I am deep disappointed and I apologize. By the occasion, I'm departure to get a move behind of my date-to-date job time I correctly transactions in the position. NBC News story. Wherever Halperin was a donor, would cut bonds in him days after. October 29, November 1, CEO and manufacturer Brett Ratner is charged of sex offense by Olivia Munn and 5 some female in a paper published by the Los Angeles Times. The concoction band of sex oppression to attack. Ratner's lawyer Martin Artist says the CEO furiously denies the concoction. November 9, November 10, these stories are real. At the period, I told to myself how which I did was okay since I never showed a female my dick out of request at first, that is as well real, the comic wrote. Yet which I scientific after in lifetime, to deceased, is how while you include force above else man, request them to see at your stick isn't a issue. He's a quandary for them. The force I had above these female is how they delighted me. And I wielded how force irresponsibly. November 21, Bloomberg, that displayed Rosa's similar interviewing program, as well ended its industry relation in Rosa. November 29, I've been fired above a history how I believe is more than exciting and more than complex rather than the release NPR heard, Keeler told in a declaration. He's several kind of poetry mockery to be knocked together off the air by a history, possessing said so lot of them myself, but I'm 75 and don't include any concern in disputing on the. We are desolate, Guthrie told. November 30, I aware Jenny and her household and include seen her several times above the year with the night she outlined. Time her ram of how night is really various of pit, it is now precise to me how her ego of terror and bullying are actual, Simmons writes in a declaration. Time I include never been forcible, I include been reckless and impassible in several of my relationships above lot many decades, and I genuinely and obediently apologize. December 6, these silent ice breakers include begun a coup of failure, collection force by the date, receipt and passage of the chunk. Their joint wrath has fueled instant and disgusting results, almost each date, leadership include been fired, moguls overturned, icons dishonored. In several cases, penal extortion include been driven. December 7, I, of all human beings, am aware how down there is several mockery in the reality how I am outgoing time. A man who has bragged on ribbon on his story of sex attack sits in the oblong office space, Franken says in his retire speaking. December 11, Batali issues an excuse to this human beings I include mistreated and wound. How behavior was incorrect and down there are no excuses, he says. I get complete liability and am deep disappointed for any ache, indignity or any discomfort I include inflicted to my peers, employees, customers, friends and household. January 1, we wish all survivors of sex oppression, anywhere, to be heard, to be believed, and to aware how accountable is probable, the email recite in portion. January 7, I wish all the girls observer there, currently, to aware how a new day is on the skyline, Winfrey tells the mob. Or while how new day eventually dawns, it will be since of a lot of splendid female, lot of whom are law there in the chamber this evening, and several cute extraordinary men, fight difficult to do certainly how they be the leaders who get us to the period while no always has to say me too much once again. January 11, if I've made thing incorrect, I will fix he, Franco says of the concoction. January 16, the female, a 23-year-old photograph, had share her expense in the website Baby anonymously, the day preliminary. January 20, February 6, her interviewing as well splashes a talk on at-set force dynamic, following she withdrawn an occurrence in that she was forced in making a hazardous trick by CEO Quentin Tarantino. She outlined the occasion as dehumanization to the spot of die. February 11, February 17, Glasser responds in a illegal completion complaint. In a February declaration to Kind, his lawyer Eve Wagner told this executive board had no perspectives to excuse his shooting. Via the litigation, we plan to give to lighting facts and testimony to show how the executive board acted rapidly and in wickedness. We are sure how a full ventilation of all of the testimony will show how our customers was scapegoated by the TWC Executive Board of Directors, Wagner added. March 2, March 4, this just some man to be sent of the academia, always, was a nature artist mentioned Carmine Caridi, Kimmel says. In 2004 he was kicked out for dividing inspection. Carmine Caridi got the identical penalty as Harvey Weinstein for giver his neighbor a backup of Seabiscuit on cassette. This changes we are testifying is creature managed by the strong audio of new sounding, of various sounding, of our sounding, connecting along in a powerful choir how is eventually proverb, periods upwards, Judd told. March 19, the New York Country Lawyer General announces it will overview the Manhattan area lawyers' processing of a 2015 sex misuse instance comprising dishonored print magnate Harvey Weinstein. After in the date, the Weinstein Business Archive for Bankrupt or, in the trial, releases all ex-employees of the legislative contracts, or non-disclosure agreements, housed toward them of talk of.